Welcome to the Peak Performance Podcast, your guide to optimizing your life one health tip at a time. This podcast is designed to entertain and inform, not to provide medical or health advice. Always consult your doctor when it comes to your personal health or before you make any changes to your diet, exercise, or lifestyle.
Welcome to the Peak Performance Podcast with your hosts, me, Dr. K. Kyle is missing. He'd stepped out for this one. And Liz, our nurse at the Longevity Center, West Palm Beach. She does all of our aesthetic procedures. So we're really going to hone in on aesthetics, what we offer, what we don't offer, and why. So where do you want to start? Everyone compliments you on your skin. I think that's why patients do procedures in their office. They want to look like you.
I guess that's where we can start, right? So I used to do Botox, I used to do fillers, and as a woman in her late 30s, like those things matter. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to just feel good, you want to look good, right? You want to feel good, of course, but you want that to project out. And so I've been on this long journey of taking care of myself, obviously internally, but also externally. And so part of that is skin regimen. And so trying to find alternatives to Botox and filler, and then also finding the right products that I'm not going to do any damage to my skin with bad ingredients or things of that nature.
Yeah. So that makes sense. Because there's levels to it, right? There's your daily products that you use, your moisturizers, creams, and all that. There's peptides you can get into. That stuff you can do at home. And then you get into what medical services offer you. That's the Botox, the fillers, the implants, and then also the natural stuff like what we offer.
Yeah, exactly. And then to slowly build that regimen, and the most important thing, just like anything else, is consistency. So find what works for you, find clean products, find procedures that are holistic instead of the Botox fillers and things of that nature, and then stay compliant and consistent with those things.
Absolutely. So let's talk about Botox fillers and implants and why we don't like those first, and then we'll talk about what we do like.
Sure.
So when you first started, I told you my rule, if you work here, we don't do Botox anymore. And the number one reason for that is they've done studies, and they find once you've done Botox at least once, they find traces of botulism in your spinal canal like years later, which means it does migrate because your lymph system does clean it up out of your face. That's why it wears away, but then it puts it somewhere else. So do you want to put poison in your spine? Probably not.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't even realize what Botox is. I mean, it's literally botulism.
Yep.
So, and they think that, okay, your body circulates it out, but as you just touched on, it doesn't go away. It just migrates to somewhere else. And in your example, the spinal column, right? So, I mean, you're literally putting poison in your body and it's not going away. It's staying there forever.
And let's say you really don't care about that part and you love poison. Here's the other part to Botox. When you inject it, it paralyzes the muscle. That's where the appearance comes from.
Right, that's how it works.
Yeah. But what happens if a muscle doesn't work for 3 months? You look even worse 3 months later, and that's why you have to go back and use more Botox and more Botox and more Botox because you're fighting an atrophying muscle.
Yeah, it's an uphill battle.
Yep.
And then, my personal journey of not starting or not continuing Botox actually happened because when I got pregnant a few years ago, obviously you can't do Botox when you're pregnant and you can't do Botox when you're breastfeeding. So my journey of stopping Botox started years ago. And then when I met you and started working for you, you're like, oh, you can't get that anymore. Anyways, so now it's been several years. It's been almost 4 years since I've had Botox. Yep. And I was looking into alternatives before I met you. And then when I met you, I was like, oh my gosh, there's all these cool things I can do, the PRP, things of that nature. So again, it's been a long, drawn out, several year personal journey to find the different products that are healthy that I can use while pregnant or breastfeeding. And then also now meeting you, intertwining the medical modalities that I can do on top of that.
Absolutely. So that's Botox. Why don't we like fillers? 2 words. Pillow face.
I mean, that could definitely a reason, but it's the similar reasons as Botox, right? Like you're putting a foreign substance in your body that is not meant to be there, right? So there's obviously detrimental effects, and it's just another form of poison, basically.
Yep. But again, if you don't care about poison, Google the words pillow face, and you'll see what happens is the filler over time absorbs water, and you start to look like swollen and bloated, and then now people are doing anti-filler procedures where they're scooping the filler out.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother thing that leaves you looking hollow, and then you've got scar tissue, and now you've got bigger problems than what you started with.
Yep. And then, do we want to talk about implants?
I mean, we can. We definitely.
Coach Kyle from the background is like, yes, talk about implants.
We definitely can. I mean, we should talk about too, like what can you do instead of fillers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there are other alternatives just like with Botox. So the same type of thing. You just need more volume.
Yeah, absolutely. But so let's touch on the implants real quick, and then we'll jump into what we do like.
Sure.
So implants, silicone or saline, a couple things. One, they found that the outer shell of them is actually full of toxins. They've found heavy metals in the shell. Why there's heavy metals in the silicone shell, I have no idea. But then two, you talk to plastic surgeons that do explants, and they're like, yeah, if they've been in 10, 15 years, there's usually mold on them.
Yeah, which is, for obvious reasons, very bad.
Yes.
So
breast implant illness is a real thing. We've had a number of patients that come to us looking for solutions after that.
I've encountered those patients as well, where they come, they're like, I finally took the leap, I did the explant surgery, now help me get everything else that's residual left over out of me. So
Yep. So that's what we don't like and why. Let's talk about what we do like. And we like natural things. We like PRP, stem cells, V-cells, adipose. That's what we do like, because it's natural products coming from you or from someone else. But there's pretty much very little risk to these products. There's no poisons.
yeah, I mean, there's no poisons. It's an alternative that's safe, like you said, very, very little risk. And if you do, let's say, for example, PRP breast lift instead of implants, right? Like, you're not going to have to later say, oh, I don't like that, I need to remove them. Or, oh, I don't like that, I don't like the results, right? Like, it's not as, one, it's obviously not as invasive. Two, way less painful. Three, less risks. And four, it's safe and effective at the same time. So why not do that instead?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you'd never seen or heard of those before you saw me do one a couple of weeks ago, right?
No, correct. I mean, I had heard of them when I first started with you, and then I saw you do one a few weeks ago. I was like, this is genius. We should be promoting this for sure.
Yeah. All we did was take the patient's own, in her case, we used V-cells, which if you don't know what V-cells are, we have a whole episode talking about V-cells, but basically they're stem cells that we get from you, and you just inject them into the breast. But there's a bit of an art to it where you have to shape the breast properly. But once you do that, you're regaining years, you're helping lift without introducing anything bad.
Yeah, and I think what's really interesting about that is that a lot of people haven't heard of that as an alternative or an option.
Yep.
And with our type of demographic of patient, we get people asking like, I really want to get breast implants, but is there something else that I can do instead? For example, this patient that we had just seen, recent mom, and again, a lot of recent moms are looking for implants after breastfeeding for obvious reasons. And she asked the question. I was like, that's really cool to see this demographic asking those questions. And I think if more women out there knew about those options without having to ask the question, we'd see a lot more patients like that for that procedure.
100%. So facials. Main thing to facials is, I always explain that we're de-aging your face. It's not like Botox where it artificially just paralyzes your muscles. What's actually doing is promoting collagen production so that your skin actually appears younger. Usually we can get anywhere from 5 to 10 years of de-aging, and that's a little bit artificial. It won't last you 5 to 10 years. You do have to upkeep it, but we're doing that. And if it wears off, worst case, you go back to where you are right now. It doesn't make you look worse when it wears off.
Yeah, right. That's the biggest differential factor between Botox filler and then natural remedies, right? So doing like a stem cell facial or a PRP facial, for example, like you said, it actually heals tissue and de-ages you because of that versus just covering up wrinkles or covering up any hollow spots.
Do you want to explain the difference between like microneedling and then direct injections?
It's really great to use microneedling for bigger surface areas and more on the surface, right? So if we're thinking, fine lines or just overall de-aging, that's really good for that. And you can microneedle. A lot of people think just face, but you can really microneedle anywhere. I always tell our patients that you should do face, neck, chest, and if you'd like to add on hands, those are the great areas. But you're not limited to those areas. You can do anywhere. For direct injections, if you have deeper lines or specific areas that you want to target and or fill, you can do direct injections for that. So think direct injections instead of fillers and microneedling instead of Botox.
That's a great thing. We should make that a little short form clip, honestly. But really, and she mentioned hands, and that's the thing I want to point out. Everyone nowadays knows if everyone's face has worked on yada, 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 you can't tell how old someone is anymore by their face. So now the smart people know to look at people's hands, the back of your hands, and see what the skin there looks like. So if you really want to present as younger, do the back of your hands.
Yep, hands and neck for sure. And anything you do to your face, whether it's a medical procedure or topical stuff, you should do on all of those parts of the body.
Yep, that's regenerative cosmetics. Let's talk about peptides.
Okay.
So favorite peptides for aesthetics?
Honestly, I don't know for aesthetics. I mean, you could do BPC 157, which is a really good one for healing.
I mean, there's a couple that I really like. One is the combo of GHK copper with zinc thymulin that has promoted You can do direct injections, you can do topicals, or you can do in the belly, which isn't as hot for the face. But what it'll do is it'll promote collagen production.
Yeah, anything collagen production for aesthetics is great.
And then you can use the same, there's one, I think the company's Duo Cosmetics, no affiliation to us, but they have a dropper that you can actually put in the hair. It'll actually promote hair growth as well.
Yeah, and a lot of the products, like the topical products that I like to use, also have peptides in them.
Yep.
So for aftercare purposes and for cleansing purposes, it's nice to use products that have those in them as well.
Yep. So what's your top 3 favorite cosmetic products?
Top 3 products or top 3 brands?
Either, I guess.
My top 3 is hard to narrow down to just products. So I'd say top 3 brands would be One Skin, Oak Essentials, and Dermatologica.
Why do you like those?
Their ingredients are clean, and I've found that they offer products that are very specific. So if I want something specifically with SPF in it, I know I can get a product with that, also with peptides in it. Or if I want something specifically for hair loss, they have something specific for that. So I can really tailor people's care plan, aftercare plan, utilizing those products in a clean way.
That's cool. And so we've talked about things that you could buy. What are things people can do that don't cost them any money?
Minimize your exposure to sun, or wear a hat, wear sunglasses, obviously wear sunscreen all the time. Even if you are inside, they've seen that some of the lights can still create damage. So even if you're not going outside, put your sunscreen on in the morning. So that's number 1. And hydrate, drink water. That's a huge, huge thing for skin health is hydration. So those would be my top 2, sunscreen and hydration.
Now, to add a very low-cost one is vitamin C. Vitamin C is the building block of collagen. It's nowhere near as expensive as literally anything else we mentioned. Go to Walgreens and buy, I don't recommend it, but go to Walgreens and buy cheap vitamin C.
Yeah.
It's better than none.
Yep. I mean, I guess another one would be moisturizing.
Yep.
So just daily moisturizer. So in the mornings, put on your SPF. At night before bed, wash your face, moisturize, and then drink lots of water. Those are like the simple things you can do at home.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add on aesthetics?
I guess the one thing I would add is that it is a journey just like the rest of your health. It's not a quick fix when you're talking about holistic things. So find what works for you and then stay consistent and you will see results over time.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was aesthetics at the Longevity Center, natural regenerative healing options. We don't like Botox, we don't like fillers. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm Dr. K.
I'm Liz.
We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Peak Performance Podcast, your #1 resource for today's top health hacks and facts. You can follow us on Instagram at the Peak Performance Pod or on X at PerformPod. You can also check out our website and weekly blogs at peakperformancepodcast.online. Again, thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe. We put out a new podcast every Thursday. The content of this podcast is provided for informational purposes only and is not intended for the purposes of diagnosing, treating, curing, or preventing any disease. Before using any products referenced on the podcast, consult with your healthcare provider. Carefully read all labels and heed all directions and cautions that accompany the product. Information found or received through the podcast should not be used in place of a consultation or advice from a healthcare provider. If you suspect you have a medical problem or should you have any healthcare questions, please promptly call or see your healthcare provider. This podcast, including Coach Kyle, Dr. K, and producers, disclaim responsibility for any possible adverse effects from the use of the information contained herein. Opinions of guests are their own, and this podcast does not endorse or accept responsibility for statements made by guests. This podcast does not make any representations or warranties about guest qualifications or credibility. This podcast may contain endorsements and advertisements for products or services. Individuals on this podcast may have a direct or indirect financial interest in products or services referred to herein.